Well, it's hard to believe it's been 10 years since we bought this house, and that means it's been 10 years of living with this kitchen, and we waited and we worked with what we had, and we did small little changes throughout those 10 years, but finally we now have a kitchen that I am truly in love with, and I can't wait to share it with you. Today I'm going to share with you how I was able to create this kitchen all while staying on a fairly modest budget in 5 simple steps. So the very first thing that we ended up doing in this kitchen was replacing our appliances. Now, yes, that is not something that is modest by any means, but we have been living with the same fridge, stove, and dishwasher since we moved in 10 years ago. The stove was the previous owner's, and it was already 10 years old on top of now our 10, so it's 20 years old. The dishwasher was falling apart, and we had to listen for the sounds of the certain sound in order to add the dishwasher tab and then add water. So while it was cleaning the dishes, it was basically a pain in order to do our dishes in the dishwasher, and we couldn't do it at night. And the refrigerator, while in good condition, we figured since we were replacing the other 2 appliances, we would go ahead and replace the refrigerator as well. And it was a little small, and the handle was ripped off from my son, so we ended up finding a really good deal through Costco, and it was if you bought 4 appliances, you saved more money. So we saved about $700 and bought a stove, fridge, dishwasher, and a new dryer, which if you've watched our previous vlog, you know that we desperately needed a new dryer because I was hanging laundry sporadically throughout the house. Now, you can get new appliances, you can search Facebook Marketplace, you can buy scratch and dent appliances. You don't have to get new appliances to update the look of your kitchen, but I really think that by updating our appliances, it really changed the look and feel of this space. My next tip is to change the backsplash. So we were working with an old beige peach backsplash. It was a square tile. It was put on in a very simple pattern, and I really did not like it. From the moment we moved in, I wanted it gone. But when we moved into this house, I was 2 weeks away from our first child, and ripping out and doing a kitchen renovation was simply not in the budget or not on my plate. So we decided to work with it. For this renovation, it wasn't in our budget to replace the countertops. While they are not my favorite, they are in really good condition and they are semi-neutral. The only thing I don't like is the backsplash that is attached to the counters. So instead of trying to figure out tiling, we did this whole thing during a pandemic. So going and hiring out someone was just not in the cards for this project. So we ended up going with something that I had seen on Hillary's channel, Old World Home, and she did the V-groove paneling for her backsplash. And I thought it looked really nice in her kitchen. And there's a few other ladies that I've seen that kind of have the tongue and groove, the V-groove paneling in their kitchens. And I think it definitely adds to the character of the home. So I decided that that's what we would attempt. And it has made such a huge impact. We had the new bank of cabinets that we had put in a few years back, and there was no tile there. So while I could have painted the ceramic tile white to brighten up the space, I decided to rip it all out and to put the V-groove paneling in and then continue it on the other side so it's one cohesive look. And it really makes the cabinets look like they're built in and a piece of furniture in our space. So I absolutely love that. The next thing that you can do is to replace anything that feels or seems dated. So above our old refrigerator, we had a cabinet, and to get the new refrigerator to fit, we had to remove that cabinet. And so while we were at it, I decided to remove this old scallop that I've been so excited to get rid of for the past 10 years. And finally it is down, and I am in love with how open it makes the kitchen feel. We also ended up replacing the over the sink light because it was just a light box. There was no actual pendant, so we picked up a pendant from the Home Depot and installed that ourselves, and I think it looks great. It is a clear shade, so it doesn't obstruct our view of the window in front of the sink. So my fourth tip for creating the kitchen of your dreams is to add special little details and touches that make it yours. Because we can get so caught up in the whole world of Pinterest and what everyone else is doing, you really have to stay true to yourself. So I wanted to create a French country cottage kitchen. I wanted to add those extra special details. We started by, I wanted to incorporate more natural wood tones, and I found these shelves at Kent, and they were already together. They were $39.99. They came with the brackets, the shelf, and they were already stained. So they were just put up and go. And I absolutely love the detail that the little bit of black ties in with the hardware, and the wood shelves just add that warmth and natural tone. And it plays off of the brown in the countertops. We also added this backsplash by the stove. So I love the look of a brick wall, and I wanted to create that on a fraction. So we bought this sheet. It was 8 feet by 4 feet wide, and it was from the Home Depot, and it's this textured brick paneling. And we put it behind the stove and the side of the stove on the wall, floor to ceiling, to create a look that it was natural exposed brick. And I took some plaster and did a German schmear over it, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I think that the accent of the brick warms up the space, pops against the stainless steel appliances, and it's just something nice instead of continuing the V-groove paneling along the back of the stove and the side wall by the stove. We also had a lot of wall damage, so I didn't want to do the V-groove floor to ceiling, so I think this really adds a warm coziness to the kitchen, and I absolutely love it. It definitely screams French country cottage to me. And finally, the last thing that we did in this space is paint. Paint can do wonders in any space. We painted the walls, I painted the cabinets, I painted whatever I could paint. I ended up going with Dolphin Fin by BEHR at the Home Depot. I went with their marquee line because it was a paint and primer in one. I had to do a few coats on the wall because the paint that I had prior was darker than this. But I love how it turns green or blue depending on the light in the room, and it really brightens up the space and goes great against the white and the wood and black elements in the kitchen. I also took all of the doors off of the cabinets and labeled them. That is one thing that I highly suggest. You take the door off, remove all the hardware and hinges, put them in a bag, and label the door and the baggie so you know what hardware goes on what door. So I ended up doing that, and then prepping my table with a tablecloth, sprayed all the cabinets with TSP, scrubbed them down, and then gave them 3 coats of the Rust-Oleum linen chalked paint, and then covered them with 2 coats of the Minwax polycrylic. And so far, we did this back in April, and it is now mid-August, and they have held up great. They're easy to wipe down and clean, and I am so thrilled with them. We also painted the Backsplash, and I can't remember the name offhand, but I will leave it linked. I will leave the name here on the screen. This was a melamine paint by BEHR in a white, I can't remember. I didn't want to go with the same as the cabinet color. I wanted something that was a little warmer and brighter, and I really think that the contrast by the V-groove paneling in that white really goes nicely with the brown counters. One thing that I did do with all of the hardware and hinges is I boiled water and boiled the hinges. This took a long time, and I did it with the hardware because I was trying to save on buying handles. And it failed tremendously. So apparently there must be some kind of plastic coating over the handles that were on the cabinets from the previous owner, and it melted away. So the hinges turned out great. I was able to get this kind of antique-y brass look from the hinges and was able to use them all. And side note, even if I wanted to buy new hinges, they were too small for my cabinet, so I had to work with what I had. So I washed them, scrubbed them, and reused them. But I had to find, I had to buy more of the handles that I had previously used, and I'm okay with that. I actually took 6 of them from the dining room, and I've yet to replace the dining room cabinet handles, but I'm sure I will find something all in time. But I did also purchase new poles. Since we don't have a lot of drawers in this kitchen, I thought I would invest in the drawers and new drawer pulls, and I absolutely love the square detail to these. So that's everything. That is my kitchen renovation. These are 5 tips that you can do to create the kitchen of your dreams. And I really feel that I've created a French country cottage kitchen, all while staying on a fairly modest budget, and I am thrilled. We all love it in here. We added little details like this new rug, which pulls in the rust colors from the brick wall, the blue, green wall color, and the natural wood tones. Above the refrigerator as well, we were able to put another one of those shelves because we want to put another cabinet up there, and honestly we felt like it would be too closed in, and we really liked how open the kitchen was feeling after we removed the cabinet above the fridge. So we left that, we put a shelf, we put some nice little decorative things up there. But I am loving the kitchen, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing this reveal finally. I've been holding out for quite a while, just trying to find the right moment and time to film this video, but we never always have the right time and moment, do we? And there are still things that I want to do in this space, and I'll take you along as we update them and do small little changes. But overall, I am thrilled with this kitchen. I hope you liked it. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button, the bell next to it to receive notifications when I post new videos, and like this video if you enjoyed watching this small kitchen remodel. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all real soon. Bye now. Take care.